And that is a strength that is embedded. And you can ask me how I know. There's already a video.
And if I would have lost, then the winners would say, we got another one. Not only did they die, they took themselves out. And right before taking themselves out, they gave up their ability to love, to create love, to share love, and to accept it. We got another one. That's what the story would have ended. Like,
manifest the spirit of Mary, then you can offer her that opportunity. And then you have children that are loved. And that's something.
How you guys doing? Oh, a little rough in the throat. How are you guys doing? Good day, night, noon, whenever you're getting this message. So, this video is dedicated to everyone, that ever experiences a type of disturbance when things seem unclear, but they're clearing up, and the type of disturbance that makes you go deep, and it either pulls you into a past that you thought you might have healed completely, or into a future that makes you anxious. This is who it's dedicated to. Because what I'm going to talk about here is to come from that past and that future and resurrect in the moment. That life onto this age, whatever age you are. In Hebrew, the word is olam. Okay, so let me structure a little bit more specifically what the video is about. Pretty much it's about this. When you go through a set of reactions and you realize that not only you love, but that you want to share love, you don't want to give up on creating it and accepting it. And you want to protect it. What do you do after you go through a set of more common responses? You say, one, I'm protecting from that out there. Which also means it could be from in here. So the 3 points of example would be something like, let's say, I have a wife or you have a husband. A second example would be if you don't have a wife or a husband, how is that love permeating? And a third example would be how it parallels the incredible story of Exodus and Pharaoh chasing the Israelites. So first example, say I have a wife. On the surface level, it might sound something like, If I feel hurt by you, I must have hurt you too. So let's ask and then discover. What happened? What happened? And sometimes when the vocabulary isn't there yet, or the articulation isn't there yet, you can still communicate with how you feel or how you show you feel. And a personal short story I'll tell you, something like that recently happened. And I asked someone very, very special, what happened? Because they were deeply looking into me, but they couldn't answer yet. Their eyes started tearing. And then I didn't notice, mine did too. And then when it fell, then I said, I cried too. And later on, we figured out a lot more clarity of what's happening. It was something in between us. Us, right? First examples with a wife. Then let's say we're able to unpack and talk about what is causing the disturbance. And let's say for this example, the disturbance is either buried in here or it's coming at us. So first thing would be like, let's say it's trauma. We have to. First, we just have. And then the have is the to. You have it, to. Then it becomes something between the two of you. And it takes a lot of courage to not only be in the situation, because being in the situation means this is what can destroy me. And here it is. And I'm showing you that because I know you would protect me. You'd go to the end for me, which means I would go to the end for you. For my wife. Now let's say it's something that's coming at us, but it's not entirely visible or observable or tangible. And it's something that's trying to take advantage of my wife and I. Who would say this? Maybe some people would attempt this. They might say, you know what? That thing had taken advantage of you and your wife in the past. Let it go. And you and your wife go and do your own thing. It's an understandable response. But it's not just my wife and I that live in the world. And it's also safe to say that if I have the ability and she has the ability to love me, there's way more souls and individuals that are participating in this love. So for someone to say, just let it go and let whatever is trying to take advantage of you and your wife keep doing their thing. This is where it starts to parallel Exodus, which we'll get back to. And in my personal response, let's say I go through all this set of reactions. I want to protect my wife from the thing that's coming at us, trying to take advantage of us. We get through it, but I see it's going to go and do that, either to other people or again to us. Like it won't stop. So then what I would do, and I've said this to people I care about, I would yell, that's what it is over there. It did this to my wife and I. And if I can't take it head on my own, the thing that's trying to take advantage of my wife and I. If, let's say, that force is too strong at the moment, and they're just going to keep doing advantage taking, one of my only options would be something like, there it is over there. Everyone else, wife, it's over there. And you over there that are trying to take advantage of us, we're telling those we care about that those are the ones that cause harm in our relationship. And if you don't want to fight them, or if you can't fight them, in a way, this is a fight. And we say, that's what it is over there. Don't go over there again. We fought that fight. Because what that means is, if the thing that's taking advantage of people in an unnecessary, malevolent, truly malevolent way, causing unnecessary chaos, the only way for that to stop doing that is either for it to be gone or for it to have no more targets. And then the macro to the micro, if it's, let's say, a trauma within or another version of ourselves, the only way for that only way for that and its ability to cause unnecessary malevolence and chaos to stop, it would either have to be healed or gone, right? Or it would have to be integrated in a way so that it doesn't target on its own anymore. It becomes a strength. We've been through that. We know what that's like. And now we're stronger because of it. Okay, so that's the first example. The second example is, let's say I don't have a wife. Let's say I don't have a wife. I need to predicate this next example on something like, you're not really maturing or learning how to love if you don't love someone or some group more than yourself. So if I don't have a wife, and there's something trying to take advantage and cause unnecessary malevolence and chaos to the group of people that I love, and let's say they're too strong to go head on with, I might say something like, you over there, whatever that is, trying to take advantage of us, if you keep coming at us, if you keep doing what you're doing, we're going to make it so you don't have any more targets. And we're going to yell, watch out for that pit hole. Watch out for that quicksand. Something like that. Watch out for that, boulder, avalanche, sandstorm coming at us. You see? Because I love. So then a more, how would you say, raw saying of that experience might sound something like, if that sandstorm or avalanche is trying to take advantage of the people I love or my wife had a voice and it said something like, I'm going to keep coming at you and the ones you love. And like I said, if the force is too great, a person like me might say something like, you're going to have to go through me first. You're going to have to go through me first. And it's the same if someone was trying to do that to my wife. No, you're not. You're going to have to go through me first. Someone's trying to do that to the group of people that I love, or the state of the world that I love, whatever that is. No, you're not. You're going to have to come through me first. And still, I'm going to say, hey, there it is. Why? Because if you see someone in need, especially if you love them, what's going to happen is the people that can and need to help will come. They'll come. But there has to just be not a person that says, martyr me. No. There has to be a person that says, if the shield is only one person big right now, That's what we got. I'm going to go to the end for you, for us. And I'm putting up my shield against that which is trying to end us. So the Exodus thing. Now, let's say you don't have to have one person just be a shield, and you're still going to yell. What does that look like? So in the story of Exodus, okay, the sea is split. And Pharaoh says that Pharaoh is going to keep pursuing the Israelites. The Pharaoh is trying to end the Israelites. And the Israelites are on the other side of the sea. Here's where the yelling comes in. To out them over there. The Pharaoh and his army and his 600 chariots trying to end us. What we might do is say, there's the Pharaoh and his army trying to end us. If they end us, they're going to come after whoever's next. So then the Pharaoh might respond something like, hurry up and get over there, end those Israelites, because if they keep yelling, they're going to draw too much to the cause. And the Pharaoh's army might be like, they need to get over there and end the Israelites quick. Okay, so now you see what's happening. We can't go head on. This is a love manifest in protection. We're already in flight mode. We can't relax right now. So then we yell like that. Boom. And then what happens? Pharaoh and his army are like, we got to get over there quick. And then they charge the Israelites. Now it's not just an overwhelming army coming to end and take advantage of a much smaller force of Israelites. It's not just that now. Now what is it? You have the mediator of God's will, Moses, and God's will now saying, boom, see? That's what the Pharaoh and them are doing. They think, the Pharaoh and them think they're just going against Israelites. And here come the Pharaoh's army right through where the water was split. And so by outing them and saying, that's the ones trying to end us, Pharaoh army rushes in. What happens? They get crushed. They are drowned in the sea for trying to end the Israelites. But it needed all of the pain for a people to say, that's it. We got to be out and move. All the pain for people to say, Hoshana, deliver us. And comes Moses, and they're on the move. And they call out to God, and then they're in fight and flight. And then they've been in prayer. That's recently Rabbi Y.Y. Jacobson, by the way. You should check him out. So it takes all of those things. And the fifth response is, we're outnumbered. We love each other. We can't take them head on. We've gone through all this. We've gone through. God is on our side. They're trying to end us. That's them. Boom. It draws them in. Right? In a way, Pharaoh and them, their hearts are hardened and they chase even more. Because the Israelites wouldn't let them just go on. Because they're trying to end them. And they say, that's them over there. The Pharaoh and his army have been outed. And like I said, they come in and they get crushed. The sea swallows them. So going back to finishing up where we started. On a micro level, just in a two-person relationship. It could be in here. And you go through all of that, and you align to what's higher. And you say, help us. Deliver me and my wife from these struggles. Point out the disturbance, the enemy that is trying to get in between my wife and I. Because she'll go to the end for me, and I'll go to the end for her. We're not trying to cut our timeline short. We're just raw and saying that it hurts so much that we'll go to the end for each other to heal it. And then same with the second example, with a group of people, if you don't have a wife or husband yet, there's still people, and that's relative as well. Like I said, you can't just let them go on, right? You don't want them targeting other people you love for unnecessary malevolence and chaos, just to make that clear. And then that parallel story of Exodus. So the strength there is by going through all of that and then having the strength to say, whether it's just me or whether it's just one person or whether it's just this group, this is who we are. And I never gave up. And I never give up my ability for love aligned to God to stand up and say, I'm never going to give it up. To love, create, share, and accept love, so much to the point where even if we're outnumbered, I love them so much. Two things: you're going to have to come through me, or you're going to have to come through us. And second thing, when God already hears your call, you say, if you keep coming, you're not just coming at us. Stop what you're doing. The unnecessary malevolence and chaos, the tyranny, stop trying to enslave us. And we all know how that story ends. Or else God's will hears the call. And in Pharaoh's case, Pharaoh's not just fighting Israel. And that is a strength that is embedded. And you can ask me how I know. There's already a video.
And if I would have lost, then the winners would say, we got another one. Not only did they die, they took themselves out. And right before taking themselves out, they gave up their ability to love, to create love, to share love, and to accept it. We got another one. That's what the story would have ended. Like,
as the spirit of Mary, then you can offer her that opportunity. And then you have children that are loved. And that's something.
The worst of times is what brought that out. The worst of times is what brought that out, which means it brought out from the very, very essence of who we are. And it can be a vulnerable and disturbing experience to get to that. And oh, how grateful and thankful we are for the clarity and the participation, if there are times when we have to go through that and we're not alone. So that very strength that is manifest in saying it's us, we're standing up, that's what it is, don't do it anymore. Pharaoh, unnecessary malevolence and chaos. Because we will go to the end for each other. That love is the strength. That is the strength that is love. And so that scales up and down relative to human time, archetypical stories, and relationship factors. If it's just us two, and we out our traumas, right? Now it's visible. We outed it. There it is. Look, trauma, no more. It's not just us. We are of love. We're aligned to God as well. Trauma is not going to be good for you if you keep trying to mess things up for us. And that scales up. 2 people, 3 people, a family, a city, a community, a state, a country, a world. That's relative to the capacity of your love to scale that way too. And we need that. Even if it's just a 1-person family for now. And you have your divine family that's not necessarily material. Or it's a 2-person family, or however many, or a community family, a state, like I said, culture, country, world family. There's a very powerful saying I never forget. It sounds something like, if the ability for a people to become a family is lost, they lose everything. And what I'm telling you is the strength and love that's embedded in us is the strength and love that will never let that happen. That is what we need. Okay, so that's our moment. This is our olam, our sharing of that, and making it worldly here, even in just this video. And then to solidify this even more, when I say, what I'm allowed to learn, that nothing is mine, all is God's, that also becomes relative to the versions of you, me, us, that's outside of this current vessel. So when we say it's needed, all you have to do is look at the oldest stories. And you see that when that need starts to attend less, you have stories like the Exodus. And that coming together is what delivers the people who that need was temporarily gone for a while, because they wouldn't ever completely let that go. Instead, they would completely ever keep it. So finishing up where we started, if I felt hurt by you or someone, and you could say this out loud to yourself too, I'm sure everyone's been in this situation, and I don't use that word generously. If I felt hurt by you, that means I must have done something too. Hurt you. That's not what either of us want. And speaking it and outing it resurfaces the strength to utilize that disturbance as the very thing that makes us into a more shared, real reality, and not just an earthly reality. And say, wow, that pain is undeniable. And the yield was so disturbing. But that very disturbance rendered an even greater capacity, aligned with the love and embeddedness that comes from above, to give us a clearer understanding and more strength. And again, that scales just here or just to however big, family, state, city, world. And I recently had that setback. It is what I just shared. I'm going to talk about it a lot more in the next video because it's work related. And the initial 4 reactions were off balance. And I pushed my body and my spirit. And it caused a lot of pain. And the yield from the setback is this. And so last example, I had a friend over and I told him this whole thing. And I first had to qualify once more. I qualified with my dad. Am I so horrible? Here are the top 3 things according to relevant scripture in this context in psychology that says, if you have these 3 things, you're a horrible person. And they all said no, thank goodness. Because then what that meant was, okay, this is going to come from good. And then I said, if you were a leader, you didn't really want to be, or if I was a leader and I didn't really want to be, and I said something that was misunderstood, and it sounded something like, well, what I just said, if you keep trying to hurt this us, I'm going to make sure that everyone knows that you hurt us so that you can't do that anymore. Or it can't do that anymore, not you. You know what I'm saying? And if, another perspective came in and said, oh, what happens if you die trying to protect the ones you love? And I said something like, well, it's Earth. And just like everyone born, we all die. I said, if you are misunderstood for saying that, what would that mean? And my friend says, maybe it could mean to some people that things are just too much. And then you want to go down in a blaze of glory. I said, that makes sense. That'd be really painful. To think that about the one where you're looking at, like, maybe I don't want to lead, so someone else does, and then they say that. I can understand. It'd be very painful. So then he says, what did you mean, or what would you mean? And basically I said, well, I don't have a wife until it's allowed. So the symbol of marriage manifests in what I said in that raw way means my current wife are these people that I care about and love. And that I would go to the ends for them. Even if it meant you're going to have to come through me first before harming us, which is very different from claiming to love and going out. It's not what that was. It wasn't claiming love and going out. It wasn't an outward thing. It wasn't a bow and arrow. It was a shield. This is what I'm protecting. So that's the macro, and the micro would also apply. This is my wife. She's her own person and soul. She'll make her own choices, but I know that my choice is, we are here. You'll have to come through me first. He paused just like that. Because I think in that moment we both understood that the initial way to read that is perceiving someone trying to decide when to start and end their own timeline, which wasn't the case, which isn't the case. It was actually a type of love that says so many of these timelines are important. Even me, if it's just me or however many, we're here to the end in protection. No. Forward. "34 minutes. Oh, jeez. Okay, we'll talk more in the next video. Have a good day. You don't know me, but I've made 5,600 baskets in the past 6 months. I've lost 24 pounds in the past 6 months. I've cut my body fat down to 10%. What you should know, there's only one supplement to use.